put my body, tension on his body, make him think. Good, good, good. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Feel the scoop. No waiting. Not at all. No sideways. Think about what you're doing. You're not going outside. I'm saying this out loud because this is the conversation I'm having with him, with my body.
Yeah, absolutely.
There. Now come around without bracing this time. I'm already going to set him up for success by saying, forget, don't brace, don't look out the door. Good boy. There you go.
It's like he's really working at this.
He's like, oh, okay, because I'm talking, I'm having a conversation with him all the time.
Yes.
You know, just sit up there and flap your legs. It's like, okay, no. Hey, don't brace. Don't brace. Let me help you. I'm feeling you're about to brace. I'm going to call him. Good boy. Well done. Good trying. Beautiful. Good boy. There we go. Nice. Don't brace left. Come on. Let me calm you. You know what I'm asking you to do. There you go. Good boy. Now let's take it this way. Okay, don't brace. Feel it, feel it, feel it. Good job. And my legs were there to say, come on, don't brace. He's like, oh, I got this. Come on, what's next, lady?
This is a goofy one, but when you did a turn on the forehand and a turn on the hind quarters, we don't look for them to pivot or keep feet stationary. We actually would like them to do small, like in a turn on the forehand, small steps in front as their hind end is coming around.
Yeah,
we don't really want anything pivoting.
No, but somebody just put it, he'll be fine. But the thing of it is, you have to start with, again, it may take them a while before they can get to that place.
Mm-hmm.
You have to start with what they can do. First of all, you want to be happy that they're keeping those shoulders stationary and they can get the hind end to move.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as that starts to move and you free up the body and you start to be able to get them to stay long in front and released in front, then the shoulders will start moving like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you teach them. But ultimately, if you've done your groundwork, you got it. If you do what we did this morning, you'll have that. I mean, that's how I teach my horses advanced dressage. Piaffe in the spot is doing it on the ground first because I'm not encumbering their bodies. And I can fix them a little bit or rebalance them on the ground. So, that looks like really uncomfortable on my bum. So hindquarters first, right? Then we want to, God, my legs are shaking today. I need to stretch. Then we want the front legs, right? Just like we did on the ground. So, what am I going to do? Let's see, we want the left front to cross over the right front. What am I going to do?
Well, you shift his weight back.
How am I going to do that?
I would be sitting properly, and then I would pick up the reins and I would lift the reins. It seems like that's how you were getting the bascule, was like you would take the reins and then get him to shift his weight back.
Okay, yes. But, okay, and not but. I first want to say, what are you capable of when I just put myself in the position? He did it himself. You see? I didn't even have to do that this time because all the work we've done just now, he's like, oh, you mean you want me to? He's shifted enough that even though he was standing on the forehand there a little bit, as soon as I took my body into a left rotation, he found his bascule, he shifted back. Now that's not going to happen every time, so you're absolutely right. If that was the case, I would be like, okay, let's move forward a few strides, get our bascule back, stop, and then do it again. But always ask him what he's capable of. Don't assume you've got to go through every step every time. Ask, okay, where are you right now? If I was going to move the right front, well, that's a whole different ballgame, isn't it? That's pretty heavy. It's a little tight. I might just stand here and comb and say, okay, still a little tight. So I may, at that point, just say, come on, let's walk forward a little bit. Let's find that bascule by just rotating, floating my arms up, which I'm doing right now, making sure my legs there. Scoop, scoop, scoop. I'm exaggerating my scoop. Okay, that's my scoop. My left leg has to be there to say, don't go sideways. That's not what I want you to do. I want you to lift your rib cage. So right now, my left leg is really strong, and my right leg is saying scoop, scoop. I lost my rotation. I have to get that back a little bit. Home, home, scoop. There we go. That's it. Start to feel it. Flex your sacrum and hook. Good boy. Now if I rotate, do I have a little better starting place?
Mm-hmm.
So always see, ask the question first, you know, assume the position and then see what he gives you. And then you decide what you have to do from there. So if I'm assuming my position to the left, I've got lightness, I've got a horse that feels like he's on my leg. Because I just said it and he said, yes I am. I rotate, I lift, I scoot my left leg and say, now keep your weight back. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna have to lift my hand because he's gonna want to charge forward when I ask him to move his left shoulder in front of his right one. Because I'm not on the ground to support his head. Right?
How much are you gonna do with your left rein to talk to that left front?
My left rein is only gonna be in rotation, that's all.
That's it, okay.
My left leg is gonna be moving the left front.
Oh, your left leg? Oh, because, and by doing that, you're just gonna do the scoop. You're doing nothing, you're not moving your leg in a different spot, nothing.
My legs never move spots.
Okay.
I used to be an inside leg on the girth, outside leg behind.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, I had lots of little spots. In fact, I'd even put show up and say, this is dress, this is passage, this is piaffe, this is canna, this is, I mean, I had it down, like playing the piano keys, until I learned there's no muscles back there that even know. This is all mechanical bullshit, basically, is what it is. And I'm just speaking to it. But we learn that. We've learned it. And the great trainers will talk about it. Mm-hmm. And their horses are still braced in the back. And that's why the muscles are from here to there. They're the muscles that make the changes that we're asking with our legs, not back here. And they're the muscles that connect underneath his sternum to his neck muscle, to the brachiocephalicus, which allows him to lengthen and get in bascule. I can dictate your horse's jaw by using my leg correctly, and so can you, and that's what you want to do. So if I'm using my leg in the correct place, he'll lengthen his neck, he'll start chewing and releasing his jaw, because the muscles are working correctly. If I use my leg incorrectly and I squeeze, or I put it in the wrong position, I will these muscles will work in reverse, which means the head will come up and the back will go down. That's how powerful my legs are. And that's why I'm really, really kind of a little bit of a stickler about you have to learn to use your legs right. Because all the years I was squeezing my horses and wondering why my necks were so tight, well, that was why, but I didn't know. You're such a nice horse. Okay, I'm just going to move my left leg now and see what happens. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. Am I looking for perfection? No.
He's weighted on his right front right now, so.
I know, yeah, and he's moving his hindquarters, right?
Yeah.
So I have to make sure my right leg says, no, don't push. So now I'm responding to what he's doing. I'm not like doing all this other stuff. I'm waiting to see what he needs. So now I'm going to keep my right leg there and even maybe do a little lift and say, no, 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 a little pressure, a little lift, while my left leg is saying, get that shoulder over. So this is acting as the wall.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
So he's still moving his hindquarters, isn't he?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is put him against the wall to help him. Because what he's not letting go of is his rib cage. His rib cage is a little tight, so he feels like he can't move the shoulders without the hindquarters, which he can. But I'm just going to show him that. Just like we did on the ground, it's nothing different. Okay, so now I'm going to say, and I'm going to keep thinking float with my hands a little bit now because I know that he wants to move back there too. So the more I can keep the weight rocked back, the less movement there will be in this movement. No forward, sideways. Good boy. Now, 2 days of doing that against the wall, he's like, okay, yes ma'am, got it. Because what I'm doing now is I'm supporting his right hind leg by putting it against the wall, so he has to rock on it. You don't have to work that hard, because that's all our ego. If I'm like, no, I'm gonna stand in there and show off to this group and make it happen. Well, first of all, I probably wouldn't be able to, because his ribcage was so stuck. And secondly, why make him endure my ego? But I will ask him again, we'll do this a couple more times, and then I'll say, hey, can you do that now? Did you get it? And if he says yes, great. And if he says no, I'm like, okay, I know, I gotta keep working on that piece for you. No problem.
Do you think when you didn't put your right leg back to block his hindquarters, which is what he would have expected you to do? So it was a little bit of confusion too.
Okay, so here's what it is. It's not confusion, it's the fact that I'm not letting him brace. So I can put my leg back and it might stop it, but what it would do is it wouldn't rock his weight onto that right hind leg, it would shift it onto the left, so I'd get a torque in his spine.
Oh, yeah.
That's the point.
That makes sense.
I can put a Band-Aid on and I can sure make myself look really good by doing that. And I can move my legs and I could show you a really lovely demonstration here of perfection, but your horse would not be benefiting from it because it's all my ego. I have to understand mechanically what's happening in his body when I do that. Yes, it may block him here for sure, but what I want is to strengthen that leg, rock the weight back so he learns something, and the next time I get on him, that leg will be stronger for my exercise instead of me having to do this for the rest of my life. And not only will it be stronger, he'll be more symmetrical and more balanced and more in weight-bearing posture. That's my ultimate goal. Not for my horse to look pretty, because I tell you what, I know he'll look pretty when I got it. And he'll be pretty and supple, not pretty and dysfunctional.
I'm glad you thought all that through, so I don't have to.
There you go, look, there it is, there it is. There. He moved a tiny bit, but not to the degree that he did last time. Now, did I have a lot of leg yet? There, yeah, but it wasn't here.
Right.
So he was having to find the place within himself that he has to let go. Whoever's next, could you go get your horse if you haven't already? Oh, perfect.
So would you say that that could even possibly be a crutch to learning if you're preventing them from
Absolutely.
the wrong
Yeah.
thing?
If you're preventing them from the right thing, if you're preventing them from finding their balance, which we do, it's like, let's put a fix on it. He's not doing what I want to. How do I fix it? Versus, why is he not able to do that? And what do I need to do for him so he can do it? That's how I train. That's how I learn all this stuff over the years.
So instead of stopping and just give him a different exercise that increases his understanding of the concept.
Exactly. I have to widen back. What does he need now? Oh, wait. What is he? Okay, he's got that. I don't have to go any further back. I can give him this. And that's how one builds confidence in a horse and empowers them and teaches their nervous system to be able to change that. Simple as that.
It's way beyond, mechanic. I mean, it's totally biomechanics, and that's where her brain just always comes from.
That's so true.
The feelings of support, I mean, that's what we do in our horses. We don't think about the integrity of their value before our ego.
And I've been guilty of that for years. Because you want that horse to look good because it's like, doesn't that make me look good? And it makes me feel like I'm doing my job right. And ultimately it comes back to where's my self-esteem? Because if my horse falls apart, then it doesn't look any good on me. At this point, I don't care about that. I used to. But at 50, I couldn't care less. I'm not out to compete anymore. I'm not out to change the competition world in that way. I can change it this way by educating you guys because you want it and you get it. Because I'll just get caught back up in the system if I go back out and do it. I will guarantee. Because of course I want to do it.